Hello, I'm Rianne Gonzalez with Edge Home Finance, and I helped you with your mortgage last year. I hope you had a wonderful holiday season and a very happy new year in your new home with your family. I had told you when we met last year and we were working on your file that I would reach out to you the beginning of the year to go over filing your homestead exemption. So it's that time of the year. You've owned your property as of January 1 of 2022. So we need to look at filing that homestead exemption to protect you from creditors and also to get you a discount on your 2022 property taxes. So I'm going to go ahead and take you into the central appraisal system to show you how to file your homestead exemption online. I'll also show you how to print out the homestead exemption. If you choose to print it out and complete it by hand, you can take it in person to central appraisal on Trowbridge. So I'm going to go ahead and take you through the system. Let's get started now. There's a couple of things that we need to do before we start filing our homestead exemption. And the first one is we need to go ahead and get our property ID number. So in your email, the first link that you're going to click on is going to take you to this screen. And you're going to go ahead and type in your property address. So I'm going to use a dummy address right now just so I can show you where to find your property ID. So we'll put in 3100 Wheeling. And then you'll see the property will come up with the owner of record and all of the information on there. You're going to click over here for details. And then you're going to see the information comes up. If you purchased the property earlier in 2021, then your name may appear as the owner of record. If you purchased it the last quarter of the year, then it's still probably going to show the seller's name because it takes central appraisal a little while for them to update the records. So right here, you're going to want to take this property ID number and write it down because we're going to need it when we start to file our homestead exemption. So once you write that down, then you're going to go over to the next link that I've given you, and that link is going to take you to this screen. And here you're going to see you have the option of filing your homestead exemption. You can file online, which is what we're showing you how to do today, or you can download the form and take it to central appraisal, fill it out, and then drop it off at central appraisal with a copy of your driver's license. If you decide to download the form and take it to central appraisal, I highly recommend that you take it in person. Do not mail it as things get lost in the mail. And I've had clients in the past that have mailed it and central appraisal said they never received it. So either file it online or take it in person and have confirmation that they received it and they acknowledge the receipt of it. So we're going to go ahead and file online so I can show you what to do here. There's a couple of steps we need to get through. So we're going to click Start Filing. And then here, central appraisal tells you you're going to need your driver's license or ID. Now, the driver's license must correspond or show the property address that we're asking for the exemption on. If you are military and you have chosen not to change your home of record to Texas and change it to this property address, you can still file a homestead exemption. You'll have to fill out the military exemption requirements, and they will require that you provide a copy of your military ID and your utility bill, as you can see right here, showing the property address that you're wanting the exemption on, which is the property that we did a loan on. So you're going to need to upload these items. So you're going to want to save them on your computer, either in PDF, JPEG, PNG, GIF, or TIFF, and that's how you can, they'll accept it in those formats. They're asking you, please do not submit multiple applications, only do one at a time. If you're a disabled vet, then there's other forms you're going to fill out to receive your disability on your veteran status. We're going to come down here and click Next. And then you can go check your current exemptions. If you purchased the house in 2021, I'm not going to recommend that you go check these exemptions because those are going to be the exemptions from the previous seller. We've got to start new exemptions for you as the new owner, because the previous owner's exemptions will not carry over. If you do not file this exemption form before April 30th, then you will have no exemptions and your tax bill will increase. We're going to click next. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to start completing these items. So the tax year that you're eligible for is 2022. You had to own the property as of January 1 of 2022 in order for that exemption to take hold for this tax year. The PID number, the property ID number that I had you write down, you're going to go ahead and fill it in right here in this blank. And then you're going to go through and just start answering some questions. So do you live in the property for which you are seeking this residence? You're going to say yes. And then under general residence homestead exemption, you're going to click here. Now, if you're disabled or if you're over 65 or any of these apply to you, surviving spouse, you're going to mark whichever ones apply to you. Over 65, your driver's license will need to obviously show that you're over 65. You're not eligible for that until the day after you turn 65. So if you're going to turn 65 in 2022, you'll have to file that after your birthday. You can do your homestead exemption now and then do your over 65 later. And then here, does the address on your ID match the property address? You're going to say yes, unless you're military. And then this is where you're going to browse the file. So you're going to click here. It's going to take you to your computer where you can pick where you saved the picture of your driver's license. Do you have an exclusive right to occupy this property because you own stock in a cooperative housing corporation? 99.99% of y'all are going to say no. Were you receiving a homestead exemption on your previous residence? If you had a homestead exemption on a previous residence in El Paso County, then you're going to go ahead and mark yes. Otherwise, you're going to mark no. Are you transferring an exemption from a previous residence? If you owned another property in El Paso County that was maybe over 65, had exemptions, then you're going to mark yes. Otherwise, we're going to mark no. And are you transferring a tax limitation? You're going to mark it no. I don't think any of my clients have that happening. If more than 2 owners, information for additional property owners in section 5. So you're going to put who owns the property. You're either single adult, married couple, or other. Then you're going to go ahead and so let's just say it's married couple. We're going to click that. And then we're going to come down here. It's going to ask for the name of the first primary of the property owner, your birth date, and your driver's license number, personal ID, or social security number. Then we're going to scroll down. They want your phone number and your email address. And then the percent of ownership interest. So if you're married, you're going to put 50-50. If you're single, you're going to put 100% owner. If you're unmarried but purchased with somebody else, it's still going to be 50-50 because you would have marked this up here as other individual who owns with others. So you'll still fill it out kind of as if you're a married couple with 2 owners, same information that you'll end up filling out. And then if your mailing address is different than the homestead physical address, you'll put it in here. Some people use a P.O. box, so this is where you would put the P.O. box if you used a P.O. box. Here is where you're going to enter the date that we closed on the loan and then the date that you began occupying this property as your principal residence. This date of occupying the property as your principal residence needs to be dated prior to January 1 of 2022. So if you closed at the end of the year in December, make sure that you put on here 12/31/2021 so that you will be eligible for the homestead exemption. If you were to put on there January 5th of 2022, then chances are they're not going to give you the exemption this year. Here you're going to put your house number, your street name, your city, your county, which is El Paso. It's already filled in. Zip code. Legal description, you don't need to put that. And that's kind of a lengthy item to put, and they don't need that. They can look it up. Is the applicant identified on deed or other recording instrument? You're going to mark yes, because you are on the warranty deed and deed of trust if I'm sending this to you. If you know the court recording filing number, if they've sent you the warranty deed, you can go ahead and pull that and fill it out. If not, then I would just skip over it. They don't really need that. They can pull up the information themselves. Is the property for which this application is submitted an heir property? You all are going to mark no, because I did not do any mortgages this year for where it was an heir property per se. Pretty much everything was purchasing, even if it was purchasing from an estate. Is the property a manufactured home? You're going to mark no. I did not help any manufactured homes this year. Is any portion of the property for which you are claiming a resident homestead exemption income producing? So all of my clients are going to mark no, because I did not help anybody with like a farm and ranch type loan or anything like that, where they're actually like a pecan farm and they're earning income off of that. That would mean then you would have like an agricultural exemption or something like that. If you were to have something like that, then you would put in the acreage and all of that. But I don't believe I have anybody this year that was income producing. You're going to provide any additional information here and upload any additional information. So if you're filing for some type of a disability, or you're military and you're don't have your driver's license matching the address, you're going to upload any of that supporting documentation. So that'll be a utility bill, or or anything that supports your disability. If you're receiving disability, the letter from Social Security saying your percentage, or from VA showing the percentage of disability you're receiving. If you own other properties in Texas, they want you to please list the counties of the properties that you own other properties in, because in the state of Texas, you can only have one homestead. So that's why they're asking that from you. Then you're going to come down here and you're going to fill in your name as the property owner, and do an e-sign here, and then put in your date that you're e-signing it and submit. I would recommend that you go ahead and do a preview of the PDF and save a copy of that PDF just for your own documentation, and then hit submit. And you should receive some type of an email or confirmation that you submitted this item. But just in case you don't, you have that PDF showing that you were in there doing it. And then if you scroll down, it'll give you more general instructions about application deadlines. April 30th is when we have to have this done in order for it to count in 2022. So please, please, please get online and take care of this before you forget. I'll try to remind everyone in April just in case. And then as it goes down, there's just more information kind of addressing the different items in there. If you have questions, any of this should be able to answer the questions for you. And I think that's it as far as walking you through the screens of how to file your homestead exemption. I hope you found this information very helpful. Please remember that I'm here for all of your mortgage needs. If anything comes up on your mortgage, or if you happen to have a family, friend, or coworker that's needing to purchase or refinance and need a mortgage, I would really, really, really appreciate it if you'd pass my name along. Thanks, and I hope you have a great year. Bye.